Fantastic being here, Jenna, Clifford, in, I must say, the heart of the head office. I don't know where it started, but it feels like it's here. So thank you for being on the show. And I want to take you back to your first job. What was your first job, even if it's a student job or at school?
Okay, I started working quite young because there was no moolah. And I was a swimmer. So my first job was actually a swimming coach while I was still at school. And I was quite a cheeky little thing because I used to offer swimming lessons with a money-back guarantee because nobody would give somebody of 13, 14 money. First of all, which was probably illegal even in those days. So that's how I got my pocket money. So that was my first job. But my real first job was actually with Estee Lauder. I always loved cosmetics and things like that. And I worked locum for Estee Lauder for many years while I got in the jewelry business to learn the jewelry business. So the one saved me. How's that? Yeah.
So the creativity, did you realize it at school that you're good with your hands, you're good with design?
I was a dumbo at school, love. You know, metacognitively not sound upstairs, no left brain. So partially dyslexic. But in those days, they hadn't really diagnosed it properly. So my art was always great, okay? Devoid of a left brain, okay? Luckily, when I was about 28, 29, I started reading avidly. So I have put some brain cells into my left brain, okay? So now I'm not only an artist, I can occasionally think.
So did you ever think when you were young that you would build this empire? This is what will happen with creativity.
Young, I hated my life so, and I was so terrorized. I had to dream and visualize a better life. So from a very, very young girl, all I wanted to do was get out. And I knew, because my father was a very, very, and still is, incredibly strong mind, mental power. And I think in some way, I bless him today so much because it might have been painful, it might have been scary, it might have been a whole bunch of things. But I think in life, it serves you sometimes if you cannot make it bitter, but make it sweet. And I think that's what us in South Africa have all got to learn. We can't have entitlement. We've got to take our talents, whatever they are, and make them godly. And if we lean in with passion, that's exactly what helps. And there's no excuse. When you love to do something, you do it extraordinarily well.
Can you remember your first piece? The first stuff that you worked on?
Yes,
what
definitely.
Was that?
Well, another thing I must just tell you, being a good artist doesn't mean you become a good jeweler. And I realized really quickly that I'd never be a great jeweler to go and hand make. I wanted a bigger influence. I wanted to infect people's heads on symbology and show them a better way. And like myself, go from possibly a lower rung, and a harder situation in life, and try and rise to a better life. And I think I've found the pathway, seeing that nobody's ever given me money. And in the days that I was building a business, women were minor in the eyes of the law. That law didn't change that long ago. So I think the same teachings are still very relative today. And sport is a great teacher to all youngsters. And it's never too late. Even if we're in our 40s, 50s, 60s, exercise is good for you,
And that was one of my questions, if you talk about women in business. And it's a fact. If you ask people, listen, name me the big business women. I'm not talking CEOs. I'm not talking people in finance or in corporate companies. Business women that build their own business. There's not even 10 I can name quickly. There's
it's
certain...
hard being a woman in business.
It's hard. And, what made it that difficult, you think?
There's only one thing that makes business difficult for women. It's called men. A Y chromosome. And I love men, and women love men. But men are largely very dominant. For 3,000 years, they've always been the alpha and the omega. God is a male in everybody's eyes because it's indicated so. And consequently, men always love control. And remember, women really in this country were not educated. It's a more modern day phenomenon. So, I think the first female secretary in this country was allowed to operate from 1914. Secretaries were men. So the bottom line is business for women is hard, but we are in an enlightened age. We're in the 21st century. We've proven that women can be astronauts, pilots, judges, attorneys, doctors, whatever. they're not deficient of brain capacity. They've been deficient of having balance and autonomy and space in which to operate. But luckily now globally, with the economies falling and consumerism and capitalism eating people rapidly, I think we're going to see more sanity and culture with women coming up, because they bring into the workplace more calm, more peace. Anger and retribution is not a good motivator. Passion and love is the motivator. So we're seeing on a global basis now, companies that are doing extraordinarily well do have females on their top ends. And I'm merely trying to encourage men out there to see the value of women, not debased women, not women that go with sexual wiles and nuances that become largely dark in its energy, really, but in their sheer power of what they're competent, what they're passionate, and what they can exalt in. And then I think we're going to have a better country.
You did some pieces for the Williams sisters. That's, big stars. In the celebrity world, who stood out for you? What was special?
Somebody like Celine Dion, because she's still so humble, and her excellence has resonated around the world, and she still stayed nice and humble, genuine. And people like Madiba, that there is nobody in the world that doesn't love that man. And way past his death, he will just become more and more, because that man was about love and about gender equity and gender parity and about children and about new futures and about lack of judging. Culturally, we all have different things in our cultures that we can exalt in. So I always think, don't judge the race or the color or the being. Judge the feel of the being and the intellect of the being, and then still don't judge. You are then able to walk away with what you don't like, and what you do love, you can engage with. Far more powerful, far more loving.
Our main aim with these interviews is just to tap a bit into your business brain and people that really prove themselves being successful. If there's one golden rule in business, new entrepreneurs looking at this program thinking, I want to start something. What is that advice? What is that golden rule for you? I
think my biggest advice is, when we all want to start something, we get so excited about our business name and our image. And they think that's a business. Once you've done a business card and once you've registered your business, you're in business. That is a big misnomer. I think things have got to first be created in the mind, lots of organograms, lots of pictorial renderings so that you can see it over and over in the mind's eye. And remember, with a lot of passion goes a lot of hard work, and you have to grow your mind. So copious amounts of reading around what you want to do, and also finding older mentors, not necessarily to meet them, but via books and live streams and podcasts, you can befriend them, even if you don't meet them. One of my mentors was Gary Player. I only met him in my latter life.
Sure.
But he had a beautiful saying, the harder I practice, the luckier I become. And doesn't that prove? Look at Nelson Mandela. He sat in jail forever, increasing his capacity of his mind instead of his bitterness. So that is an essential with business. Mind goes over matter. And as long as you're not hurting anyone and you're not stealing, you will be blessed. You will always be blessed. You might go through tough times, but that is there to serve and to teach you. It's a navigation system. Those are the road maps that merely show you the way. So it's good.
You still positive about South Africa?
I'm an African. I might have a lighter skin, but I am African. And I'm very proud of Africa, but I think we could do so much better. I'm really, really concerned about the East and them extrapolating all of our assets and we not rendering them here. I really think it's time South Africa does wake up. No, it's got the most beautiful country actually in the world. The world's pretty much at war now. We must get our act together, take all our cultures, completely eradicate our bad education system, and start networking a better way forward. Stop talking and wasting money, start appointing the money in the right place, and start getting tangible results through sport and through education. That's what I really believe in. And, I'm old now. And you only as young as the man you feel. And I'm not a wayward woman. But I do want to tell you something. One's always got to network with youth because that keeps you positive and it keeps you motivated. It's not always about us. We should all be a we, not individual. I think a lot of the ego has led to a lot of narcissism and a lot of failures on top levels. And that includes business. I'm not just talking about governments and the way we render our societies. I'm saying across the board. So my greatest appeal would be for men to start seeing and to start understanding that a Y chromosome is one deficient link. And let's build it.
You've got, even now, still new projects that you are running with and something that you are really excited about.
Yes. For many years, a lot of people say to me, when you're writing a book, when you're writing a book. And I always say never, because my story is to the tune of 86% of this population in this country. It's had a lot happen to it. So instead of bringing out a book on me, little me, no different to everybody else, I brought out a book on the Pills of Wisdom. And obviously on an e-link, it's for free to anybody that wants it. Or if they walk into our head office, our store, they can collect one for free. But I really believe that the jewels of life are sometimes in books. That's the bottom line. Readers are leaders. And if we're going to liberate this country and make it beautiful for all, safe for all, prosperous for all, we best re-coordinate the base. And that book contains all the base, from vision to delayed gratification, something I practice a lot.
Thank you so much. You're dynamic, you inspiration. You're still so excited about life. And thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And love animals. I love animals.
Oh, I love
Keeps you
animals. You
young.
can see, definitely. Thank you so much, Jenna.
Bye-bye.